for it to...
Alright, well, Madam's complaining already. I haven't even begun frickin' doing it. I want that one. I don't remember which one's the sharper one. Well, we'll find out. Alright. That's right, you're seeing me do some cooking. They can't see you. You're behind me. Move that way. So, we're doing what is supposed to be goulash, although I do not follow the traditional goulash steps. So there.
Because when your mom made it, she used pork and...
Yeah, she used a bunch of different stuff and at any rate, whatever. Okay, so, gotta get yourself some meat. Cubes. Pre-cut cubes. And then you cut them up in smaller cubes because to buy the really small pre-cut small cubes is expensive. Can I get a plate, please, madam? Oh, there's clean ones in there.
Yes, I did your dishes.
Oh, look. A clean plate. The reason being is because we want to get this all cut up in advance. Now, you kind of want pieces, you know, about that big. Doesn't have to be too much bigger. You don't want them too small, but you don't want them too big at the same time. That is too big. So you want to cut them up. Don't worry about the fat and grizzle on it. Leave it on there because that's going to add flavor to it. See, that's like way too big. So we're going to cut that one up. A couple of smaller ones. So we have a couple of little cubes. And we're just going to put them all on the plate. And then eventually we'll get to the next step. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and cut this up. We'll be back. Alrighty, step 2. Cut yourself up some onions. Just use a regular, you know, white onion. And it's up to you as to what you use, whatever is best for cooking, because it's going to get fried in with the meat. Alrighty, so because of the camera positioning, we're a little bit stuck here, but we gotta, you want to get yourself a big pot, not a fry pan, a pot. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to get out a little bit of margarine. Yep, that's what we got there. And we're going to, I just put the stove up on high for now because we want this to heat up. Got a crumb in there, for God's sakes. Alright. Want to get yourself something to be able to mix and stir. So you got your onions. Okay, so first off, I use garlic powder, a little bit of cumin, parsley leaves, black pepper, usually a little bit more Worcestershire sauce than what we've got here, but I'll just use it up, and just a little bit of curry powder. Oh, and sea salt. That'll come in afterwards though. Sea salt comes after. So what we want to do, because we don't cook in oil, so we just plop that butter in there while it's heating up. And we'll let it heat. Just put that off to the side there. And we're going to let the butter melt. She's getting good and hot there. So, you're going to want to put your meat in, but you're not going to want to put it all in at once. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to put some of the onions in first. You want to brown up those onions. As a matter of fact, we're going to put all of them in. And we used half the onion. If you like onions, you can put in more. Don't let the onions burn. You just want to brown them a little bit. To let them cook. Fry, whatever. I know you can't even see me properly here, but I apologize. I guess maybe I should lift this up a bit, but I'd like to actually get you guys to see the pot here. Here we go. You can put up with looking at my moobs and my stomach. You don't really need to see my face, do you? I have what?
Good background material.
Okay, so the wife took picture proof of me cooking and apparently got a picture of her hunka on the wall there.
Yep. It's April. It's a totally different month.
Yeah, yeah. There. For all you ladies out there, there you go.
Yum,
yeah,
yum.
Alright. Whatever. Yum, yum this. Alright, we're back to this. Alright. Get your onion. Ah, gotta love that cooked onion. Mmm. Well, we'll have garlic in there in a minute.
Oh, I mean fresh garlic, but whatever.
Fresh garlic. Well, you could use fresh garlic. You can use garlic powder. I've always used the garlic powder. Linda wants to try the fresh garlic, but it's not the same. It doesn't get over everything I find. But whatever. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw some meat in. We're going to put all of it in at once here. I'm going to put part of it in. If we want to get we want to get the meat browned. Mixed in with that onion. I'll just let her sit and brown now. Don't do it on low temperature, guys, because it'd just take way too long. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of the meat in. We're going to be mixing it up here. You want that nice crusty brown layer at the bottom of your pot afterwards. We're just going to let that brown. We'll be back in a second here. Alright, so we're partway done browning here. We're going to start adding a little bit of black pepper. How much? Well, depends on your taste buds. You can put a good healthy amount of the pepper in there. It adds lots of flavor to it. But you don't want to add overly much. We're going to put a little bit of the parsley leaves. Although I think we're going to have to open that up. I'm not sure. You don't need to be shy. Very small hole, so it's taking a bit to come out, guys. It's not like I'm dumping in a shitload here. I'm going to put in a little bit of garlic powder. Again, that depends on your level of garlic that you want in there. My mom never used it because my dad didn't like garlic. And we're going to, just as an added flavor thing, I always put in a little bit of curry.
Your mom would have never used curry.
No, my mom would have never used curry on this one. This is just my added little touch. I'm putting a little bit of cumin, or however you pronounce it. Just a little bit. Don't need much. And, well, we'll dump out the rest of the Worcester. Because normally, I put a lot more than this in. Come on, get out. The bottle was almost empty to begin with. You don't have to put the Worcester in, but I do. It adds a little bit of flavor. Alright, the bottle's empty. Alright, give her a stir. If you guys can smell that. We got a little bit more browning to do here. We'll be right back. Alright. So, as you guys can see, it's getting pretty brown. We got some liquid in there. What we're going to do next, we're going to take her right off of here. Well, we're going to move this plastic thingy in the sink. And we're going to put her, we're going to fill it up with water. But the important part is you only want to put in the water so it just covers the meat. So you want to make sure your meat's nice and level. So you want the water just up even with your meat. And then you're going to put that back on. So it's just covering. You can see just the tops of the meat here. So now we're going to stir that in. Oops. And now you want to bring, that's going to be your gravy base, guys, right there. Right in with the meat. Don't ever take it out of the pot. Don't clean out the pot. Don't wash the pot after you've fried your meat. Do it all in the one pot. That's the important part. That's what gives it the flavor. So now we're going to let that boil. Oh, I forgot one more ingredient. You guys can choose to or not to do this. I always put in a little bit of salt. Sea salt is better for you. So you don't want to put an overly large amount. That's good enough. And add a little bit of flavor. Put that salt in there. Mix it in. And again, we're going to bring this to a boil. Very, very rough or hard, crazy like boil. Alrighty, so I think we got her to a boil here. Lift the lid off. So don't worry about this brown foamy stuff on top. That's supposed to be there. Our meat's nice hard boil here. Alrighty, so next thing you're going to do now, it's real simple. You're going to bring her down to a simmer. So you're going to put her on low heat. You're going to take note of the time. And you're going to let it sit for 2 hours. So I know it's 5:13, so at least 7:15. We'll be eating dinner by 7:30. A little bit late, but you got to count on a good 3 hours for making this dish. Very important that you let it sit for simmering for at least 2 hours, okay? What you can do in the meantime is you can prepare your next pot. Now, depending on what you want with it, a lot of times you can have mashed potatoes, you can do whatever, veggies. Tonight, we are just going to go with some simple egg noodles, okay? We're just doing egg noodles with it and salad. And that's nice. You make the egg noodles and you as your bed of noodles, and you put the meat and the gravy on top. It tastes great. You can do the same with mashed potatoes. You don't need regular potatoes. Normally, traditionally, you would have mashed potatoes, red cabbage, you know, whatever other veggie, your salad, whatnot. But we're going something non-traditional. We're doing it with egg noodles. We like it with egg noodles. So that's up to you, what you add with it. However, like I said, you gotta let it sit and simmer. So I'm just letting it cool down right now. And then we're going to put the lid on. And with the lid on, we'll let it simmer for about 2 hours. So, until then, we'll be back. Alrighty. Now reached the 2 hour mark. And our meat is nice and tender. But we still have the very important stage to go, because this is our gravy, and well, it's a little, oops, let's get the camera sitting right. Little thin. So now the fun part begins, where we gotta thicken her up a bit. Alright, so with that being said, here's this Worcestershire bottle. Get you guys sitting just right. And now we're gonna go in. We use Robin Hood Easy Blend. The stuff works great. And then we're also going to put in the secret ingredient just before we do that. So what we want to do now is we're going to bring it back up to a boil. We're going to get our secret ingredient out. Shush up, Molly! Oh my gosh. What's our secret ingredient, you might add? Ask. We're gonna add it, but anyways. Sour cream. I know some of you are right now going, what? But this adds a load of flavor. You want to give me a small spoon, please?
I was gonna say.
Just want to give her a mix. And you got to add a healthy amount in here. Want to stir it in. And I mean a healthy amount. Don't be cheap on the sour cream, because it adds a... I don't know that I needed to buy another sour cream. This might be enough.
Not like it goes bad that quick.
No, this is true. Okay, we'll let that come to a boil. Here with that sour cream in there. And we're going to... whisk it. Over there like so, put that like so. So what we do is we want to get that well mixed in by whisking her in. And that adds a schmuckload of flavor to it. It is the secret ingredient, big time.
Which you totally forgot about, but just saying.
Yeah, thank God Linda told me to make sure to pick that up. She put that on the grocery list. Because I would have forgot it. I've forgotten it in the past.
Yeah.
And trust me, it just does not taste the same without it.
That and the onion. Like, I don't know how you forget that.
So anyway, so you want to get your thickener in while stirring so that you can thicken your sauce. You don't need to be shy with it either. Get it in. Although I wouldn't advise putting in too much in one shot. Just get it in. But remember, once you stop it from boiling, you're going to let it cool down. Or not cool down, but simmer down. It's going to thicken up at that point. So you don't want it to be too thick. So as Mama reaches right in front of the camera. Alright, so we got her turned down now. We're letting her simmer. And you know the meat is good, done and tender when you're whisking. And you end up with little meat shreds on the end of your whisk here. Means that meat is nice and soft. So we're just going to let that boil down here in a bit and we'll be right back, right?
Yep.
Alright, so as you can see, I've got a salad. Mama's got a plain salad. I got salad with tomatoes and all that other crap in it. My milk. And I'm about to have la pièce de résistance. Alrighty. So Mama gets her noodles of eggies. Well, no, they need the light on. Oh, you were going for the fan. Why don't you put your plate closer? No chance of gripping. Ooh. Looky, looky, looky here.
Yum, yum, yum.